Under reports tonight, we have a report of the library board regarding their facility expansion and remodel proposal. Ken, are you going to take this?
Sure. Ken Abosch, 1485 Gordon Terrace. I'm the library board president. And I was actually supposed to be at the Cubs game tonight, so I'm very grateful that you gave me the chance to be here tonight with you.
So, you won't have to watch the Cubs lose if they lose.
Absolutely.
As a Sox fan, I say, good to see you.
Well, there you go. I'm a good luck charm for him.
Essentially.
As we've shared with you in recent presentations in the committee of the whole meetings that we've had with you, the library opened in 1971, which makes it about a 39-year-old facility. And we have some original systems in the building, probably much to our benefit in terms of having kept systems alive much longer than their useful life span would suggest. But our heating system, our cooling system, our plumbing, our electrical system are all significantly dated. As we've said before with you here, the building is not up to code in terms of meeting compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act, with fire safety and access issues, and so we have major infrastructure challenges. In addition, we find it challenging to meet the needs of the community. Communities told us over the last year or so that they need more space for materials. They want more materials in the library. More programming, where we need more space to be able to accommodate different kinds of programming. Space for quiet reading, space for studying, including study rooms and meeting rooms, space for our staff to be able to do their work, especially in light of the historical circulation that we're experiencing in the library for materials right now, and also space for more material, for more computers. So the library board has been studying this problem very aggressively in the last year in particular, but for the last several years. And we have taken steps to conduct a space study, as you know, by hiring an architect whose expertise is in library design. We've conducted a public opinion poll of the Deerfield community. We had 400 participants in that poll of all different demographics that match the demographic of the population in Deerfield. We formed a citizens input group to help us gather input and listen carefully to what the community was telling us. And we've conducted multiple rounds of open houses, including 2 in June, to get additional reaction to our preliminary recommendation to seek infrastructure repairs and also a modest renovation of the building. And all of those things, including, by the way, reviewing written feedback and evaluation scores from this last round of open houses, which told us that somewhere between 50 and 70% of the attendees supported the direction that the board has identified. All those things have led us to conclude that it would be in our best interests and in the best interests of the community to address the infrastructure issues and to also seek a modest up to 10,000 square feet renovation or expansion of the building. And so in our last board meeting on July 21st, the board moved and approved to move forward with seeking a referendum to help allow us have the community and voters weigh in to react to the request for funding that we now seek in order to accomplish the infrastructure repairs and this modest expansion. So the referendum will be for this coming November in the general election. And in your packets you have copies of the referendum filing materials as well as the question that will be on the ballot. I don't feel the need to read that to you. You can read it as well as I could read it to you. But in essence, the project cost in total is about a $13.8 million project. The library board voted to spend down our reserves of about $2 million toward that project, which means that we would be seeking an advisory approval from the voters for funding of about $11.8 million in that referendum. This is a very different request than the request that was made in a library referendum in 2004. For those of us who remember, that referendum in 2004 asked for a brand new building. It asked for an 80,000 square foot building instead of the 40,000 square foot building that we would establish as a result of this change in expansion and renovation. And that referendum in 2004 asked for $25 million. We're asking for $14 million less than that. So in our opinion, we think that we have, as a board, listened carefully to the community. We've listened to the taxpayers and what they told us. In the prior 2004 referendum, we've studied the question carefully, and that's why we feel that this is the right decision for the library and for the village of Deerfield to pursue at this time. We are planning some additional public information sessions. Those will be organized on September 30th and October 2nd. At those sessions, we will be sharing more information to introduce architectural concepts, which we have undertaken in the last month or so. And again, as always, we encourage the full community to participate in those information sessions and throughout our process. So we think that, again, this request will give the library another 30 years of life and help us to help meet the community's expectations for the kind of library that the village of Deerfield deserves.
I'm sorry.
I'm finished,
okay.
Yes.
Your additions are going to be two-story?
No, the addition would, well, the ground floor and the first floor, if that's what you mean by two-story. We're not building up higher than the current height of the building now.
Any thought towards pouring an extra floor so that if you did decide to add additional space, you had something to go for or to go with that might be cheaper?
So we've looked at the possibilities of putting a shell or some kind of reinforcement around the building to allow us to build up higher.
Can't do it.
The cost is prohibitive. Okay. It is possible to do. Frankly, we'd be better off probably starting over from scratch than doing that. But I think the other point I would make is that our architects, who are experts in the field of library design, tell us that for a size community of Deerfield, 40,000 square feet, which is what we'll have at the end of this process, will allow us to meet the needs of the community for 30 to 60 years based on what the future library looks like going forward.
I just would like to compliment you on the work that you and the board have done in analyzing the situation and informing the public. I think you've done everything that you should do in going about the presentation. I am looking forward to the results of the referendum. Personally, I think that this is very important to the village. I think a library is one of the few things that are really central to the role of what the village provides to the residents, and right now it's not up to the standards that our residents expect. So I hope it passes.
Thank you.
And I appreciate what you've done.
I think it also should be, it is obvious, but I think it should be made obvious. We've heard comments tonight that government decisions are made without reference to the people who are governed by that decision. Yours and your decision to put it to a referendum opens it up to the very citizens that we're serving, the residents of this village, which is the proper way to do it. And I think that puts the lie to the comments that government doesn't pay attention to the constituents that they serve. And I commend you for doing it in this manner, for bringing the village into it, and for making the village and the residents a part of the decision-making process.
I personally don't see how you could possibly have been any more open than you have been these last 6 months, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I think you've done a very good job of public education, and I know you're going to continue to educate more of the public, and I hope that this goes through, because we certainly do need it.
And no matter how much outreach you do, no matter how many people you talk to, be prepared to hear, you didn't talk to me. We didn't know. So just keep trying, use every outlet you can. And actually, I look forward to this as an opportunity for the community to have a conversation about the place of the public library in our culture at this time, because it's changing. Certainly it's changing. It's not your grandfather's library, and it shouldn't be. But to remind people how vital it can be to their lives, how important it still is, I think this is a good opportunity for that, besides talking about what we need here in the way of facilities. So we're behind you.
I'm concerned that something I said might be taken out of context. When I said that the library isn't up to the standards, I'm talking about the physical facility.
Thank you.
The staff there, despite the limited resources and the age of the facility, does an admirable job, and I know that they're having to work extra hard to make up for the faults in what's there. So no fault of the people that are there.
Thank you for that clarification. We actually feel that they've done too good a job, perhaps, and they make this a little bit cloudier of an issue, but we have a terrific staff.
You do, and some of the things that you've done to help the citizens with the website, renewing books and finding out about what's there and in other libraries is fantastic. I use that pretty regularly.
And the usership continues to go up, correct?
Yes.
We had our best month ever at 44,000 circulations in 1 month.
That's
44,000.
That is amazing.
Wow.
During the summer.
During
So
the
these
summer.
are not school assignments that the kids are being sent in for.
Right.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Mary. Thank
you very much.
to your board for all your hard work and all the extra time you've put in to get this to the point where it's ready for referendum, and we appreciate that. So
Thank you.
keep in
Well,
touch
we
with us.
appreciate your support. We very
Thank
much.
you. Thanks.